Hi, welcome back to ECS Coffee. My name is Rebecca, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Philips Barista Brew semi-automatic espresso machine. So this is a brand new release from Philips. I believe it is their first semi-automatic espresso machine. And at first glance, they kind of hit it out of the park. So this machine comes with a whole bunch of really amazing accessories. And we're going to have a look at those. We'll brew some coffee on this machine and then also talk about who this machine is for. So quick little overview of the machine. You do have an integrated conical burr coffee grinder. You have a 2.3 liter water tank on the back. So a little bit larger than your typical semi-automatic espresso machines that are similar to this, usually hovering just below the 2 liter mark, so it is a nice size. You have a 58 millimeter portafilter. So typically, again, you do get a smaller size. So the fact that you do have a 58 is really nice. I love that they included that. With the 58 millimeter portafilter, you get 4 different baskets with the machine. So you're going to have a single and double unpressurized basket. So those are the standard baskets that you'll use. And then you also get a single and a double pressurized basket with the machine as well. So you'll use the pressurized baskets when you are either having some difficulty dialing in the espresso and getting a good shot. It's coming out really, really weak and watery, or if you're using pre-ground coffee. So it's just going to help to increase that pressure. You also get a dosing funnel with the machine to minimize the mess of coffee grounds on the countertop. And one of my favorite things that this machine comes with that I can't even think of another machine at all on the market that comes with something like this is a 58 millimeter, of course, calibrated stainless steel tamper. So this is a level tamper. So you do have a larger ring on the outside and then the center of the tamper will move down. You have to apply quite a bit of force. But this is going to make sure that you, one, have a level tamp as the edge will sit on the edge of the portafilter. And it'll also make sure that you're applying the right amount of pressure consistently. It has a nice weight to it as well. You will not need to upgrade this. I actually don't think that there's anything in this machine that you will need to upgrade. So if you wanted to add a distributor or add WDT or add a puck screen, those are all fantastic. But a lot of the time when you do get one of these semi-automatic espresso machines that are hovering around this price point, which is $850 Canadian, you do have to upgrade some stuff, or you will want to upgrade some stuff like your tamper or your portafilter or anything like that, just because that's typically where companies will save a little bit of their cost, is on those different accessories that they know can be upgraded. So I really appreciate that. I think that there was a lot of thought put into kind of those little extra pieces with the machine, because it does enhance your brewing experience for sure. On the front of this machine here too, we're gonna just go through what some of these buttons are, what they do, and then of course we're going to go ahead and make some coffee together. So on the front of the machine, we've got a few different buttons. We have our power button, which I'm going to press and turn on right now. So this machine does use a thermoblock heating system, which means a couple of things. It heats up very quickly, but you can't brew and steam simultaneously. So you will have to perform one function, then the other. Again, that's like super standard with this type of semi-automatic espresso machine. You have your dosing button. So you can either dose for a single or a double. We are on double right now, so the ×2 is lit up. If I wanted to toggle between the single and the double shot, I would just press and hold my dosing function and it would switch it to the other one. So I'll do that now just so you can see. So press and hold, and it changes it to the ×1. We'll change it back to ×2 since that is what we will be brewing with. We will be using the double shot basket. This machine comes with the dual wall double shot basket in the portafilter, not the single wall or unpressurized. It comes with the pressurized in. Found that a little weird, but you obviously have all of the baskets, so you can just change it to the unpressurized or single wall one. So this is the dose amount dial, so you're able to increase or decrease the dose of coffee that's being ground depending on how much you need. So it's not going to be indicated by grams or anything like that. It's just kind of a plus or minus, so a little bit of eyeballing. You are able to manually dose on this machine as well. You would just need to weigh out the beans ahead of time and then manually dose out the coffee into the portafilter. So next up we have pressure gauge. So our pressure gauge is going to help us monitor the pressure of the espresso shot while it's pouring. So it'll be a good indicator as to whether or not you need to increase or decrease the grind size based on what that dial or that needle is showing you on the gauge. So we have an under extracted range, we have an over extracted range, and then we have an optimal extraction range. Obviously it is a range, so you are going to kind of find where you like to fall within that range. And different beans and different bean types, they may prefer different extraction levels as well. I'm also a big believer that the pressure gauge, it's a good tool, but watching the espresso is your best bet. If you're not going to be weighing it or timing it or anything like that, physically watching the actual espresso pouring and how it appears into your mug once done, and then how it tastes is much better than just relying on the pressure gauge only. It's a good tool, but it's not the end all be all. Next up, we've got our shot buttons and our pre-programmed beverages. So we have a single shot, double shot, and we have a one-touch Americano. As an Americano drinker, I like that function a lot. I drink just really Americanos, so having that as a one-touch is a big plus for me. Those buttons are programmable as well for your volume, so you can adjust the programmed volume of your single shot or double shot, as well as your Americano. Very, very easy to do. I typically leave my settings as factory, but you can go ahead and adjust if you wanted to. We obviously have a designated hot water spout, which you can see just here by the group head. And then we also have a manual frothing wand. The dial to activate the frothing wand is going to be on the right-hand side of the machine. And then you can also activate the hot water spout on that side as well if you just needed maybe a little bit more hot water only, or if you needed hot water for tea or what other purposes you need your hot water for. We have 15 grind settings on this machine on the bird grinder up top. And you're going to adjust that actually by turning the whole hopper as opposed to using just a secondary kind of dial on the side here or on the side of the machine, on the front, or any other location. So whole bean hopper will be twisting. I find that this bean hopper, it is stepped. It does move a little bit like a stepless, which I did like. So you do have 15 precise grind settings. It does look like you can get kind of the in-between as well, which is really, really nice. I'm finding that I do need to go relatively fine with this grinder. Now, that's not specific to this semi-automatic with an integrated grinder. I find that that's very specific. That is not specific, that's very common among all semi-automatics that have an integrated grinder. You end up falling a little bit on the finer side. So we have 15 settings. I have been using really just grind sizes 1 through 5, which is interesting. That is what the manual indicated that I would be using if I was going to be pouring the type of beverages that I'm pouring, which is, kind of makes sense. This machine does have a 2-year warranty through Philips, so you would be able to, you have servicing coverage for 2 years, which is really great. So a decent amount of time. So we're going to brew some coffee. We're going to steam some milk. We're going to brew espresso. We will use the one-touch Americano function, and then we'll use the steam wand as well to make latte or cappuccino. Don't know which one I'm going to do. It ends up how I froth my milk. That's the kind of beverage we're going to get. Our machine is dialed in, so we're just gonna go ahead and start brewing. I've got my dosing funnel. I have my 58 millimeter portafilter. It is a dual spouted portafilter. As far as I'm aware, there is no bottomless available right now, nor is there one in the aftermarket that's compatible. So just something to kind of keep an eye out for if you are looking for a bottomless. Not compatible with this one right now. Oh, and I've just noticed now as well, on the back, there's a little rubber, little piece here, so that when you sit the portafilter on the edge of the counter, you're not damaging the counter nor the portafilter, which is kind of fantastic. And this does have a good weight to it too. It feels quite hefty. Yeah, it's quite nice. Sits level as well. Okay, these are all pluses. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this quite a bit. Okay, alrighty, Brew. Let's get going. I'm gonna load this up, put my dosing funnel on, and I'm going to plug my portafilter right into my grinder holder here. So it is, you don't have to hold the portafilter while grinding. It's hands-free grinding, which is great. And I'm just going to click my dose button here. Go. Volume-wise, it's the same. So unsure if it's because of the beans that I'm using. I am using Colombian espresso, so it's not typically this staticky, but there is quite a few grinds on the countertop here. I can't imagine using this without the funnel because that was quite staticky actually. The grinder was a little bit louder than other semi-automatics that have a grinder on board. Nothing really to like write home about though, like it's a grinder, it's going to be a little bit loud, but that was quite staticky. So I'm just gonna pull this out here. Yeah, so you can see here that my grinds are kind of all over my dosing funnel, whereas typically the grinds should be going all the way down, not really covering the outside here. It's not really the end of the world. It's kind of something to note that even though you do have a dosing funnel on this machine and it comes with the dosing funnel, there's still some static. You can get around static by the water droplet technique, the RDT, so just adding a little spritz. That only works though if you're single dosing your espresso. So if you're not single dosing, don't RDT. Just kind of do it as is and then deal with the static if you need to. Okay, I'll take my funnel off. Just gonna kind of push everything into the center here. See, yeah, I've got quite a bit of grinds all over the counter now. Oh well, okay. Small complaint, everything else has been good so far. Calibrated tamper. This is so nice. This is really nice. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, press it down. So, portafilter's level, tamper is calibrated, so you don't really run the risk at all of tamping incorrectly, which is really great. Adds a lot of ease to your dosing and everything like that. So nice, great puck. I love that. That was really easy, minus the little bit of mess. It honestly looks like I didn't even use a dosing funnel. So it's a little odd. You do get a little tray as well if you're dosing or pouring into a little espresso cup so that it's not falling too far and you're not losing too much heat. So I'm going to put my portafilter up into my group head. I'm gonna start with the handle to the left and pull it all the way to the right. So this kind of stuff becomes muscle memory as you get used to using the machine. And we are going to use the steaming wand first instead of doing the one-touch Americano. So I'm going to brew my espresso shot. I'm going to load up my milk and then we will steam the milk afterwards as well. So I'm gonna place my cup underneath these spouts here. I'm going to click my double shot and we're going to watch this espresso pour. So this is programmed to put out about 2 ounces of volume. We're gonna just watch it go and watch that needle rise right up. Beautiful. Oh, great. This looks like a really nice shot. This machine was very easy to dial in. I think because we have like a good portafilter, we have a good tamper, it made the whole process a little bit simpler. Okay, so we've got our espresso shot here. That looks a little bit more than 2 ounces for some reason, but maybe that's just me, unsure. Okay. That smells really nice though. Smells very, very even. The crema is good. You can't really tell since I am using an orange kind of glass here. By the way, this is a 1.21 glass, so if you like it, it's very cute. It's kind of iridescent. You can buy this from us at ECS Coffee. It's Smells good though. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to leave this just on the top of the machine here. And then we're going to steam some milk. So I've got some 2% milk here, and you do receive a little, where is it? You do receive a frothing pitcher with this machine as well. So one, the frothing pitcher is a nice size. It's a little bit light. I don't have really much of a preference or care as to how light or heavy a frothing pitcher is, but it is a temperature control jug as well. So it has a little thermometer reader on the side here. So instead of just using the pinky method, which is what I typically do, you can monitor your milk steaming to get it to a precise temperature. Usually this is something that you would need to purchase extra. This is something that Philips has put right into their machine out of the box stock, which is, again, just a nice feature and just a nice little add-on and addition for you. We'll also note that the box was packed very nicely. All of the accessories were laid out right on top in this box, and all of them were individual, so you could visually see everything that came with the machine. I found it very organized and it was very easy to unpack. It was very nice. It was a nice opening experience from this machine. All right, so I'm gonna fill my jug up about halfway. And then I'm gonna hop around and I'm going to steam some milk. Okay, so to activate the steaming wand on this machine, we're going to turn the dial forwards. And then we're just going to wait for the pump to kick in. We'll turn the steam wand off and then we'll get ourselves set up and ready to steam. So you can see here the light was blinking on the steam / hot water. Decent power. Actually, really decent power. Huh. Okay, like that. And now, okay. I like this steaming wand, I think. I'm not too sure yet. Yeah, it's good. It's insulated. That's a big plus for a steaming wand. Having an insulated wand, especially for cleanup, it's really beneficial because you're not going to have milk caked onto the frothing wand. It's going to be really easy to clean up. And we can see that my jug is lighting up, so the temperatures are illuminating. I can't really tell what it is, what temperature I'm at. 130, 60. I just go by pinky. I go by feel. All right, so this is done. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to pull the jug out. Steam wand is still cool-ish to the touch, so it's warm. All right. That is some beautiful milk. Really, really nice. I do like this steam wand. So you can see here on the jug too that the temperature, as it was rising in temperature, the colors changed. So we have like it illuminated by color now. It looks like I probably frothed to about 160, so I guess it's a little warm. I don't know. I don't use the thermometers on the jugs or when I'm steaming milk at all, so that's your own personal preference if you wanted to use that. Okay, it's a nice steaming wand. All right, so we've got our, this is more of a flat white just because of like how much it is. This is a relatively small little mug, but I really love it. I do love this steam wand a lot though. I found that it took a little bit of time for it to get up to its maximum pressure. So just keep that in mind if you are steaming on this frothing wand, that the first kind of 5 to 10 seconds of frothing, you're not getting a ton of pressure. Even after the pump has activated, it does take it takes about 10 seconds for it to kind of get to where you want it to be to start getting that vortex. It's not immediate. I'm gonna take a little sip here. Yeah, it's really, really great. That made really nice creamy milk. The espresso tastes very balanced. Like I said, the machine was very easy to dial in. So yeah, really easy. Like 3 espresso shots and we were good to go. Super simple. The setup of the machine was also very fast and very easy to do. Use your manual, read your manual, but you basically just plug it in, fill it with water, turn it on, and it's going to illuminate the single cup button. You're going to click that, and then it's going to just flush through the system. So it's going to flush water out of the group head. It'll flush water out of the steaming wand. Watch that your steaming wand is pointed in a container and not at your shoes or your feet like mine was. My shoes are wet now. And then it'll also automatically rinse through the hot water spout. The setup process, it took, like honestly, less than 2 minutes. It was so simple. Wash everything out beforehand just for ease and for cleanliness. But yeah, really easy to set up as well. Okay. We're going to use the One Touch Americano button just so that you can see how it works. I am very hopeful that this is big enough. I don't think really that it is, so we can always stop it if it starts to overflow. But I just really like these little cups, these little mugs. They're very small, but I do really like them. So I'm going to take my portafilter out. I've got a knock box here. That is one thing that you will need to purchase extra with this machine. It does not come with a knock box. Again, that's like a really, really common thing. So I'm just going to go wash out my portafilter. I will wipe off my steaming wand as well, and then we will brew a One Touch Americano. All right, so we're back. We're going to brew the One Touch Americano. So I've got my portafilter cleaned out, steam wand is cleaned off, and I've got my dosing funnel inserted on the top of my portafilter here. I'm just going to go ahead again and stick my portafilter into the grinding chamber, whatever you want to call this, and I'm going to click dose. Just a note as well, above our dosing function here, we have an indicator light for descaling. So if the machine requires a descaling cycle, that little light will be illuminated. See with the static, it's quite a bit of static. That is kind of, so far, my only complaint about this machine is the static. I don't love it, don't love it. Yeah, very staticky, very staticky. Okay. All right. Push this into the center. So we're just using like everything that came in the box. We are not using it, except for the knock box and obviously cups. We're not using any extra accessories or tools for making our espresso. So the kind of beverages that we are getting today, without anything extra, you can replicate at home, the quality and everything. So just apply my tamper here. Good. I do like this tamper. Oh, geez, Philips, well done. This was a great, great, great little addition. Little home up top, which is always nice. Beautiful, tamped nicely. Okay, portafilter goes up into the group head and pull it all the way over to the right. So now again, like I mentioned, I'm hoping that this cup is the right size. If it is not, then we will either have a bit of a mess to clean up or I'll just have to make sure to stop it. All right, so cup underneath, we're going to click our One Touch Americano and we will watch this brew. I'm not sure if it's going to pour the water or the espresso first. I'm assuming espresso. I am right. There we go. Beautiful. Another gorgeous shot. Really, really nice. go. And a little bit of hot water. So your volumes or your metrics, the parameters for your Americano is different than for your espresso. Oh, look at that, it was right. Perfect. So we've got our little Americano here. Really nice. That's good. That smells really nice, okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh, that's really good. That was really easy. All right, so final thoughts on the machine. I really like it. I like the thought behind some of the accessories that they included, like the 58mm portafilter, calibrated stainless steel tamper, the frothing pitcher that has the temperatures on the sides, even though I'm not gonna really use it myself. The dosing funnel, these are all really fantastic things to include in a semi-automatic espresso machine, especially when you're at the price point of $850 Canadian. Now, some things that I don't love. The static. This is a very staticky grinder. I wish that the dosing funnel was a little bit higher quality. It feels 3D printed. It doesn't feel overly fantastic, but it kind of does the job, I guess. I feel like it helped a little bit with the funneling the coffee grinds into the portafilter, but I still ended up with a lot on the counter. So whether that's something to do with the dosing funnel or if that's something to do with just the grinder itself, not sure. But not a massive fan of that. The construction of this machine seems really good. There is some of the buttons, I found the dosing button, and maybe it's specific in particular to this unit, this one that I have right here. I found that I had to really press it in. It wasn't very easy to press. Like, I really had to give it a good press. Other than that, water tank size is great. Bean hopper size is great. I am sitting really low on the grinder settings out of the 15, so that's a little surprising. Usually when you do have the 15 settings or around that number, you're falling somewhere closer to around the 8-ish mark. Not always, obviously grinder settings change depending on your bean, your environment, everything. There's so many factors that come into play. But I am quite low. I'll just say that. So the grinder is a meh for me, but the ease of use with this machine, how easy it was to dial in, all fantastic. I can tell that this here, where your portafilter sits for the grinder, same material as the funnel. So it's kind of thin plastic. It feels a little cheap. That's not going to necessarily impact the quality of the espresso per se, just a little something to just mention. 2-year warranty again, which is amazing. So all in all, like 2 thumbs up, Philips, well done. This is really fantastic. I love how you use the machine. The one-touch Americano button is fantastic. I was wrong, the steaming wand is not technically insulated. It's not mentioned being insulated in the user manual, although just from feeling it, it didn't feel like it got hot while frothing, which was, usually an indicator of something being insulated or something like that. So just something to keep in mind that no, it might not technically be insulated, so do use care and caution when frothing milk. Maybe don't grab the steam wand like I did just in case. Yeah, it was really great. Steam wand was powerful. Espresso was easy to dial in, easy to pour. You have some programmability with this machine as well, which is great. Large water tank on the back, decent warranty. Yeah, really, really fantastic. Excited to use this machine more and play around with it a little bit more as well. So yeah, well, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you liked our video, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like our content, subscribe and follow us on all of our social media channels. And if you liked the products that are in this video, we'll just have them in the shop window down below this video and also in the description. So some of the accessories, the cups and the knock box is actually from our own brand, 1.21. Machine is obviously from Philips. If you're local to one of our stores, come by for a demo because we do have this machine available to use. We always recommend using before you buy so that you know what you're kind of getting into. This machine would require a little bit of work and know-how on how to do the espresso thing. So if you're not wanting to do that, maybe not for you, also not a hard thing to learn. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. We do like this machine and we will see you next time. Cheers.